Have you ever wondered about your past lives and why it would be useful to know about them? Yes, it's fun, but I am a professionally trained master clairvoyant, and in my training, past lives show up because they have a message or a lesson or something for you that is relevant in your present lifetime. And so it's not just like getting a past life regression where you can just see all of the past lives you've had. It's knowing what is the lesson for you in present time. And so one reason you might want to know about a past life, or a past life might be showing up for you in a reading, is that there is some karma that you are completing in this lifetime from one or many past lifetimes. In readings, I have seen and also experienced for myself, receiving my own readings, multiple people who are reclaiming their spiritual power, women who were persecuted and even killed in past lives for being witches, for being powerful spiritual leaders. I read a man who had great spiritual gifts in a past life, but they were coming through from another entity, an energy outside of himself, and they were kind of being used for negative purposes. And in this lifetime, reclaiming that and using his spiritual gifts for good. You might also be completing karma with another person. There are people who have had all different types of relationships with other people, and they could be family relationships, they could be friendship relationships, they could be romantic relationships, and those people come back in your life because you have karma with each other from a past life to complete. Maybe you were partners in a past life, and you finally get to have your happy ending in this life, or you finally end your karma and your lessons together, and you get to complete that and move on and be done with that. There can also be karma with places. I have done readings on people and also received readings myself where, for example, when I moved out to the West Coast from the East Coast, and I was living near the redwoods, and it was my first experience I wasn't near them, but there were forest fires happening. And I felt this inexplicable grief regarding it. And I received a reading, and I had past lives. I've had multiple past lives as an Indigenous Native American, and I had a past life in that region where the redwoods were my home, and I had a deep connection with them, and so that past life pain was brought up. There might also be a lesson for you in this lifetime from a past lifetime. For example, I recently read a man who asked about his career. And what he was showing me without telling me anything was he was showing me he was writing. And he had this blank journal open in front of him. And I asked him, I said, "Are you a writer?" And he said, "Well, not for my profession, but I like to write. And I have a bunch of all these notebooks that I've filled in." And what he showed me in the past life was being a manual laborer on the railroad, something like that, maybe in like the 1800s, and feeling this immense satisfaction from doing this manual labor and creating something with his hands and having a finished product and being able to look at this product and say, "Look what I had, look what I created." And in this lifetime, he was showing me that lesson was looking at this blank journal, this blank book of, start the book that you've been thinking about. Start the writing. Have that completed project that will feel so satisfying for you. So that's a past life lesson. There can also be information, wisdom, and gifts from a past life that you can awaken and activate in this present life. Anything from herbalism, creativity, musical gifts, mathematical intelligence, connection with nature, So many different things. So there can be a number of reasons a past life may show up. There may also be, maybe there was something that you did not get to finish, you did not get to complete, or a mistake that you made in a past life. And in this lifetime, you have the opportunity to learn from that, to finish that, to complete that. And so past lives, in the sense that I look at them, are not random. It's showing up because there is a lesson for you. There is information for you. There's wisdom for you from your own spiritual path, your own lifetimes. And many of us here have had multiple past lifetimes. Being an older soul does not necessarily mean being better. It just means you've had more lifetimes. And there's also many new souls being born on the planet at this time too that are incarnating. But it's always fun to see what is the wisdom that your spirit and your higher self has for you in this lifetime now.